Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my story on how I became a vegan, when did I become vegan, and why did I become a vegan. Such as how long ago I went vegan, why I went vegan, and the changes that I saw in my body and why I stuck to it. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I went vegan about 4.5 years ago now, so it's been about 4.5 years roughly. And I went vegan during my gap year. So in the UK, we finish our A levels and then we go off to uni if you want to go off to uni. But I decided to take a gap year, which I did some work experience and I did a lot of research just because I was interested. And at the time, I wanted to know how to lose weight. I was overweight and I was researching on nutrition. I wanted to find out how I could lose all the weight that I had on me. And I came across a lot of types of diets, and I came across the vegan diet. Never in my life did I ever think I would cut out meat or dairy, because it was such a big part of my diet and it's such a big part of my culture as well. So I was interested in it though, so I wanted to research more into it. Then I found a few documentaries which are the worst. They are so grim but so honest. So I watched two documentaries, the first one called Earthlings and the second one called Cowspiracy. Those two documentaries really affected the way I felt about eating meat and dairy especially. So it was more or less an instant change of mind. I changed my mind then and there. I wanted to stop eating meat and dairy and eggs altogether. However, it was a process, so I didn't cut it out straight away. I get asked the question a lot, why did I actually turn vegan in the first place? And it's always a difficult one to answer because I didn't go vegan just for one reason. There were multiple reasons as to why I went vegan and why I stuck to it. So the first reason obviously for me was the ethical reasons. In these documentaries and in various other documentaries that I watched further down, it just showed how, cruel the whole industry is towards animals, and how unethical it is. And I just watched that and I decided that I couldn't be a part of that. I couldn't be a part of the animal suffering. So that was a really big reason as to why I went vegan. Another reason was obviously because I wanted to lose weight. I thought, I can't lose anything by trying this out other than weight. The environmental reason was also a big factor as well. There's a lot of damage that goes on with just producing meat and dairy to the entire planet, and most people are unaware of it. The kind of damage that it does do to the environment is also in the documentaries that I watched, so I highly recommend you go watch those two. I'll write the names in the description below. Overall, I didn't want to be a part of the suffering of animals unnecessarily, because from the research that I had done, you could get all of your nutrition from plants, so why would we bother killing animals to feed our bodies? It doesn't make sense to me. I cut out dairy first. I didn't cut out meat first. I cut out dairy because I felt like it was very damaging for my body. Generally, I didn't feel like I digested the dairy properly, and I always had digestion issues, so I thought I'll cut that out and see how that goes. And then I slowly started to reduce my meat intake, and then I stopped eating eggs. Yeah, I just weaned off of it, so it wasn't like a bam, stop eating dairy and meat totally. I mean, even though I made the decision overnight, I wanted to adjust my body into it slowly because it's something that I knew I wanted to do long term. And then yeah, I haven't gone back ever since. So throughout the years, that I've been vegan, I have noticed quite a significant change in my body. Firstly, I lost a lot of weight. I went from a UK size 16 to a size 8, which was actually very, very slim for me, because I'm a very tall girl, and being that slim just makes me look really like skinny, and it wasn't something that I was familiar with, because I was always chubby my entire life. So being skinny for me felt really odd. It wasn't my favourite thing, but the time that I did lose weight, I was eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables. So most of my diet included raw fruits and vegetables back then, and obviously when you're eating whole foods all the time, uncooked raw foods, it's difficult to get all the calorie requirements. It does make sense for someone to lose that much weight, and it only took me like a year and a half to go from a size 16 to a size 8. I'm not exactly sure how much weight in kilograms I lost, because when I was overweight, I never used to weigh myself. I never weighed myself. I'd never take pictures of myself. I'd never let anyone else take pictures of myself. I was so self-conscious. So I never actually weighed myself, so I don't really know how much weight I did lose. I just know what size I went down from. Along with the weight loss, my metabolism also improved. I used to get very bloated. I used to have, you know, a lot of indigestion, as I mentioned, and I would have a lot of pain in my stomach all the time, after dinner especially, and you know, I would look like, you know, I was pregnant or something after food. So that started going down slowly. It wasn't like a quick, you know, it solved all my problems instantaneously. It wasn't like that. So it took years for my digestion to go back to normal. And only really now, after experimenting with a lot of types of foods and, you know, a lot of food combinations, now I know how my body works more, and now I know what my body responds to. So yeah, I can avoid bloating and, you know, the foods that I'm not as tolerant to. I mean, I used to be bloated every single day. Every single day of my life, I'd be bloated and uncomfortable. That's one of the things that I'm really happy about. Another change that I experienced before I went vegan, I used to have periods twice a month. So twice a month I would get periods, and they were very, very heavy and very, very painful. And after I went vegan, like just a couple months later, it started changing, and you know, I stopped having periods like twice a month. My cycles were, you know, pretty much back to normal. I still had pain, but it wasn't as excruciating as it used to be. So I did see instant change with my menstrual cycles. However, it wasn't like instantly 100%. I'm still seeing changes in my menstrual cycles, and it's becoming easier and easier for me throughout the years with my periods. So I don't get as much pain. I still get pain, but it's not as bad. I don't get as much bloating, and it's not as heavy anymore. So that's a plus. Just for that reason alone, I wouldn't go back to eating meat or dairy, just for that reason, because, you know, having periods every single month and it being that excruciating and that painful is enough for me to change my diet completely so that it's not like that. I'd rather not go through that pain for, you know, half of my life. Another change that I did see was that my skin got clearer and clearer. So again, like all of my other changes, this one wasn't an instantaneous change either. So it took years for my skin to gradually get better. So it wasn't like, you know, as soon as I go vegan, my skin got better. It wasn't like that. It wasn't a quick fix. It was something that I stuck to, and I didn't expect my skin to get better. Like, I didn't do this so that my skin got better, but my skin getting better was such a plus. I used to have really bad acne all over, like down my cheeks, like down here, down my chin, and not as much on my forehead, but it was always on my cheeks, like down here and like over here. I guess that's related to the hormonal problems, and it's probably linked to my menstrual cycles as well, that my skin is clearer now. I mean, the acne I had was awful. Like, I tried all the products on the market and all of them just ended up irritating my skin even more. So now I just stick to simple skincare routine, but that's just another topic. One of the other big changes that I did see after I went vegan was that my mood started getting better. So my mood and my energy started just elevating. I think not having all that crap food and the heavy foods in my stomach just made me feel lighter, and because I felt lighter and I felt better in my own body, it affected me mentally as well, so positively obviously. I didn't have the fatigue that I had prior to going vegan. I actually had energy to start going to the gym, you know, which obviously is another story of its own. But all of the reasons I mentioned, I stuck to it because of those reasons. I stuck to it because of all the health benefits I saw. I stuck to it because of the, you know, it's so much easier for me to maintain my weight now. Being vegan, my metabolism has gone much higher, but that's obviously got to do with my training also. Because my metabolism is so high, it's not as, you know, it's not a problem for me to maintain my weight and, you know, stay at the size that I want to stay. And currently I'm a size 10 to 12. I am happy where I am in terms of like my weight. I have like body goals and what I'm working towards to achieve, but in terms of my weight right now, I am more or less happy. Another question that I get asked is, would I ever go back to eating meat again? From the mindset that I have now, it would be easy to say no, but I'm not one of those people that, you know, will just rule out something completely. So because you just never know what will happen. I'm happy with what I'm doing now, and what I'm doing now is working for me, and I feel healthy and I feel happy with, you know, my diet. I love trying out new vegan recipes all the time. I find it so fun to, you know, experiment with different flavors and different vegetables, and, you know, new vegan products that come out in the market. You know, you're always getting new stuff right now. In London, obviously, you have a lot of like new places. It's always exciting to try these new things out. So no, I'm not planning to go back to eating meat or dairy. However, as I said, I don't rule things out completely because you never know what's gonna happen. Stay hydrated. One final question that I want to answer for people who have asked me: did I find it difficult to change, to make the transition into being vegan? Transitioning into the diet itself, it wasn't difficult. I was excited. It wasn't something like I was dreading, like, oh my god, I can't eat meat anymore. It wasn't like I can't eat meat anymore because I chose to not eat meat. It wasn't something like, you know, I can't eat meat. Like, it wasn't a restriction that was posed upon me. I made that decision and I went through with the decision and I was happy about it. So it wasn't something that was difficult, and I like new things, so yeah, it was exciting for me. But then what was difficult for me was the people around me had a difficult time adjusting to my diet, which I found like really odd, because it's like I'm the one that's eating it, you know, I'm the one that's cooking for myself. It shouldn't bother you in any way, but it just happened to bother people around me that I was vegan, because around the time that I made the transition, didn't really get a lot of people that was turning vegan. You get a lot of vegetarians, but you didn't get a lot of people, like my family didn't even know anyone that was vegan. They didn't even know what vegan meant. Like, what does vegan even mean? You go to places and you're like, oh, I'm vegan, is there anything, you know, can you cater for me? What's vegan? My family was concerned for me. They were concerned that, you know, I'll turn weak, I'll get ill, or, you know, I'll get like lethal disease. And I thought like I'll probably like end up getting really, really skinny and die. But I was just like, no, I'm gonna stick to what I believe in. I'm not eating meat again. I just stuck to it. They found it more difficult to adjust to my diet than I did. I guess people always get offended by you being vegan. For what reason? It's like, it's going into my stomach, not yours. It doesn't make sense. Like, it don't make sense to me. I'm the one that's eating it. Like, if you feel like I'm missing out, I made that decision. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, so I'm not gonna go into what I specifically eat in this video, but I will do in future videos. So that's enough babbling. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below and I will try to answer them or make a separate videos about them. And that's it. Thank you for watching and I shall see you next time. Bye.